Well, yeah, last year actually was one of the main characters on the musical Rent, the Korean version, and that was my first acting gig ever in Korea. I mean, I've done TV shows where I come out and say one or two lines. I did cameos for other TV shows as well, but this was my first acting experience where I am on stage pretty much the whole time, saying my lines and dialogue and singing the dialogue as well. And at first, it was really difficult because me being from the States, Korean American, one thing that Korean Americans we all have in common, being born in the States or Canada, we can't memorize Korean dialogue as fast as Korean born people. So people always told me, you should act. And of course I want to act, but the problem is trying to memorize all that Korean. I remember the script was this thick, all Korean, and some of it I couldn't pronounce, so I had to sit in bed with a pencil in my mouth and try to, what they say in Korea, 혀 풀어, and that way I can get the R's and L's and D's and all that stuff down. So that was a difficult experience, but at the same time I learned a lot. I got to work with Colleen Park, who's an amazing director. She has a big heart for the cast, and I met great friends, and everyone just was so helpful. Even though I was struggling, people would come up to me and help me on my lines, and they direct me in my acting, which was very, very helpful for me, and I learned a lot from the project. And I hope to work on more and more musicals in the future. So far I've done musicals and singing jobs, and now I'm going to do radio DJing. So hopefully in the future I really want to go into TV or movie acting. I know this year alone I've done at least 7 auditions. So I have an agent in America who actually sends me scripts for TV pilots or movies, and there's actually some movies that right now that are out on the big screen, and movies that are soon to be out that I've auditioned for that my friends got in Hollywood. But hopefully I'll get a part soon in Hollywood. My biggest role model growing up as an actor would have to be Edward Norton Jr. I fell in love with his acting after watching the movie American History X. He is not only an actor, he's so talented. He writes films, he directs it, produces it, he stars in his own film. So for me, I look up to him as a role model because he doesn't just act, he really knows the inside and out of all what acting is about. It's not just being on screen and just saying a bunch of lines, it's knowing the film, writing the film, being, just participating and being a part of the project. And one day I want to be like the Korean American version of Edward Norton Jr.